I became a functional addict. I was a functional addict for 23 years of my life.
What was the drug of your choice?
Everything. I used to do a lot of cocaine. You know, the 80s and the 90s, New York City, it was free for all. So I did a lot of cocaine. Pride, believe it or not, held me back for not doing crack because I didn't like the label crackhead. Okay, so that helped me. And then I'm afraid of needles, so I didn't want to have the tracks in my hand. So those two things saved me. But I was taking prescribed medications, I was taking pills, I was drinking, I was smoking, I was doing pot, you know, everything. And that took me to a whirlwind of destruction. But you see, I didn't know that. I thought I was doing fine. I was working, I was making good money, and I was living life. You know, everything money could buy, I had. My kids never needed anything. They never went without. I thought I had it all. But little did I know that I was dying inside. And in 2002, adversity hit, okay? And it's funny because I didn't know then, okay, that it was dysfunction. I was living a life of dysfunction because I was so accustomed to do what I did. And I didn't have anybody telling me, Yvette, you're doing the wrong thing. Yvette, you don't do this. So I didn't have a figure to follow. So I did, like the Bible said, that the Israelites did whatever was right in their eyes. So that's what I did. I did whatever was right in my eyes, no knowing that I was following a path of destruction. I knew something deep inside told me that I needed to fix myself.
From the drugs or the other?
From everything, from the drugs, from the addiction, from the men, from everything that it was. I had an addictive behavior. So everything that you do a lot becomes an addiction. Yeah. But mine was the cocaine. I fell in love with that monster, and I couldn't let go. He would whisper into my ears. He would show me, and I had it.
I remember when we talked first, you said he would try to hide the drugs from you, but you will find it.
Yes. It is
like something would whisper to you and tell you where he the drug. That was wild.
He would hide it inside the house, and I could be sitting trying to fight it because, you know, I didn't want to do it. But then you would hear whisper in your ear that said, you could find it right over there, look over there. You know, find it. And I would go inside the plant. You know, you had this beautiful plant, and I would go inside the plant, and it would be there. You see, he would be in the cart, and I said, wow. And that's the way the enemy had it. He had me, and I literally had to walk away from everything. And when I went to my doctor, the doctor said, mind you, this is the 2000s, 2002. And they told me that because I had a nervous breakdown, that's classified nervous breakdown, mental illness, schizophrenia. Okay? And they say, we're going to put you on medication. But something in me knew better. And I said, no, I'm not crazy. But mental illness runs in my family. I have an uncle that committed suicide because of his mental illness. I have an aunt that she struggles to today with mental illness. So when they knew they wrote my chart and they said, oh, that runs in your family. This is going to happen to you. This is where you're going. We got to go into medication. I refused to believe what they told me. And I said, no, that's not for me.
I want to talk about that. How that addiction almost landed you in prison.
I worked in big companies. You know, in big label companies. And it was a time that I became too prideful and arrogant because I could do this. And if it wouldn't be by that, again, if it wouldn't be by the grace and mercy of God.
Drugs will make you do stuff, man.
It's a way for you to provide for your habit.
You're taking care of your addiction.
Yes.
So you would steal jewelry.
I would steal everything that I put my hands on it. Jewelry, clothing, makeup, fragrance is something that you cannot prevent from doing it. Yeah. So if it was put in the wrong place and I knew I could take it, I would take it. Mm-hmm. But I was getting cocky and prideful. You see, sin will do that to you because, I'm untouchable, they can't touch me. And it was a time that I started doing an investigation, and thank God that I was able to come out. And that's when I hit the rock bottom. That's when I said, I need help. I had to go there. I had to fall all the way down to the cracks of society, lose everything in order to come out. I had to leave the city. I couldn't stay in the city. I couldn't be around what was familiar. I had to leave New York. I had to leave Pennsylvania. So because in my travels, all I did is when I moved, I got to a place, I got to move. I got to a place, I got to move. But all I did was I changed my zip code. My behavior went with me. When you switch a zip code, but you don't switch your behavior, sooner or later you're going to end up with the same people. And until I take hold of the Lord, and the Lord said, "You're coming to Connecticut." I said, "Connecticut? What is in Connecticut? Nothing. I don't know what is in Connecticut."
Country.
Where I had gone down, He showed me that all my struggles, all my pain and everything, it was because of the dysfunction that it was in my family. It comes, it runs, it follows. It's a door that the enemy has right to get in. I had to come to terms with myself that I needed to help me in order to help my children. So I came to Connecticut with nothing, a backpack and a train ticket. My first prayer was in Philadelphia. My first prayer was, "Lord, don't let me leave this place the same way I come in." Okay. The second prayer was, "Lord, help me to finish this, because I have never finished anything in my life." 23 years of addiction, functional addict,
Did it for 23 years.
The behavior started 23 years. The addiction started after 20, in my 20s.
Oh.
But since 12 or 13.
Yeah, you've been going through.
Because remember, I was molested and abused under 7. So I didn't know. I started stealing and taking stuff since I was little.
Oh, wow.
So men abused me. So for me, it was normal. If men wants my body, so then, I'm going to start charge you for it, I just slept with men, so I'm my husband.
Yeah. So it became prostitution.
It became in a way.
In a
okay?
way.
Because back then I just, no, he's just my boyfriend. But he wasn't my boyfriend if he's married, So it's a twisted mentality. But the Lord, it's been a journey, because for 22 years, I just celebrated 22 years. Last October, I celebrated 22 years of freedom. Complete freedom in the Lord. Oh, yes. It has not been without no struggles. Because the enemy was trying to hold me. Even everything, he's trying to hold me back. The fears, the insecurity, stuff that I carry with me because I didn't have anybody. So my goal has been, since I developed a relationship with the Lord, since I learned, that everything that I need is in the Word, and I didn't have anybody to show me. So I want to make sure that the girls that come my way, I'm there to help you. The scripture that the Lord gave me comes out of Joshua 1:14. And it says, when he talks, he's talking about your brothers. But I switch. I said, "Lord, I'm sorry. I'm going to go after my sisters." And I said, "I am to help my sisters so they too could find the freedom that I have today." I'm paraphrasing, okay? One of the things that I said, the enemy took my better years, my youth and myself. But Caleb said, "I'm stronger now than the way I was."
And sometimes we think the devil holds us captive. But God is really showing us what we are to do. I'm a strong believer of it sometimes. Not every time I stumble and fall, I blame Satan for it. Because I said, God, what do you want me to learn in that season of that junction?
Yeah.
Because it's always a lesson, because it makes you the powerful woman that you are today.
The Lord allowed me to go through everything that I went through, like Thomas, until I see his hands and I put my hands in his finger, my finger in his hands, then I believe. So the Lord had to do that to me. He took me, and I remember crying out for help in Brooklyn, New York City, in the late 90s, okay? And I was high as a kite, and I wrote in the wall, "Help me." It took 13 years for that scripture, for that cry of help to become reality. And I said, "Why did it took you so long? I could have died, because I could have died. I could have killed myself. I was trying to kill myself." And then he says, "Because I needed you without excuse." I needed you without excuse. And this year, he showed me what help meant when I wrote helped.